I'm shaken awake again. A soft groan escapes as I blink from the blinding sun. Leanna hovers over me and I groan softly. That's right, she doesn't know about my impromptu midnight training session. Guess I better get ready to spar. Stifling a yawn, I crawl out the bed and join Leanna out in the field. We practice our sparring until my muscles are sore and Leanna's broken out into a sweat. Neither of us manages to knock the other one down this time, leaving us in a draw. When we return to the campsite, Kara and Zack are nowhere to be seen.
Hey, where did Zack and Kara go?
Amelia looks up. She's crouched beside the fire pit with the poncho nuzzled between her neck and shoulder.
They were not here when I awakened.
That's weird. Kara usually sleeps in and Zack sticks around to make everyone breakfast. Wonder where they could have gone. Amy sparks a small fire. We hang an iron pot over the flames and Amelia waves her hand. Cool water rushes from her palm and splashes inside. She smiles, pleased with herself, and raises the crackling flames to make the water boil faster. Giglaine watches on with interest at Amy's skill. After a while, I see Zack and Kara approaching us from the distance. As they get closer, I can see Kara retying her chestnut hair into a ponytail. There are a few leaves sticking up in Zack's hair, and by the time they reach us, I notice his face has a little more color than usual. Leanna watches them with a suspicious look, but she doesn't say anything. Amy is too preoccupied with stirring the porridge to notice.
Good morning, friends!
Hi. Kara seems to be in a good mood. I haven't seen her smile this much in a while. Her eyes are brighter like a cat's. She stands on her tiptoes and picks a few leaves out of Zack's messy hair. Is it just me, or does he have a few extra scrapes than usual? I can see the tail end of a scarlet scratch torn across his collarbone, curling out from underneath the top of his shirt. His coat's a little lopsided too, like he put it on in a hurry. Kara smiles and brushes some dirt off his broad shoulders.
Hey.
I lift an eyebrow. Hey, where'd you guys go? Zack's face starts to flush.
We went hunting for breakfast.
I raise an eyebrow. So where is it? Zack blinks.
Oh.
The blush brightens in his cheeks.
I ate it already.
Kara's gaze slides up to Zack's face. The corner of her mouth tucks upwards.
You sure did do some eating.
I choke and mask it into a cough. Leanna looks confused.
What did you eat?
Zack's cheeks seem to have gone up in flames. His face is ruby red. He avoids eye contact and forces out an uncomfortable cough. Amelia finally looks up from our breakfast and stares at the scene. She glances between Zack and Kara, then back at Zack. Her gaze lingers. Zack shifts under her stare, clearly uncomfortable. Amy's eyes seem to be boring into his skin. After a long silence, she tilts her head.
Zack, you appear to be injured.
Zack blinks.
What?
She points.
You have a slight abrasion on your neck.
He chokes and shows the collar of his jacket up to cover his throat, but to no avail. I can still see it.
Don't worry about it. The hunt just got a little rough.
Leanna glances to where Amelia is pointing. A second later, her face grows pink.
Oh, Kara!
Kara feigns innocence.
What?
You know what?
I really don't have the faintest idea.
Her eyes are full of mirth as Leanna fidgets.
Never mind. Maybe the rest of us should just eat too.
Her eyes flick to Kara's smirk.
I mean, eat a meal! As opposed to? As opposed to nothing! That's why I said a meal!
Giglaine looks from Kara to Zack to Leanna's burning face and bursts into laughter.
I can tell this is going to be fun.
Zack brushes past him as he reaches for the plates. Kara is a step behind him. Giglaine leaves and returns with a few walnuts and berries. He adds them into our porridge for some extra flavor. I have to admit to be pretty bland without them. The rest of breakfast is passed in uncomfortable silence. Kara casts long glances at Zack, who pretends not to notice. Leanna looks at everyone but the two of them, while Amy seems as oblivious as ever. Only Giglaine seems to be thoroughly enjoying himself. Once breakfast is over, we clean up the camp and continue on our way to the water temple. The path crunches under our feet. The sky is clear and the sun scatters its fingers like crowns over the tops of the trees. I can see mountains in the distance. The jagged ridges sprawled out along the horizon like ocean waves. When I start to break out into a slight sweat, we find ourselves surrounded by the mountains. I gaze up at the range of sharp peaks like dragon teeth. Other others disappear high into the clouds. We stop at the hollow of a mountain. The air smells of jasmine and salt. I pause, my eyes falling on a wide cave mouth. Is that the entrance? Gingaline beams.
Yes, this is it.
We cautiously enter the cavernous entrance. Blue light flickers across the cave wall as a faint glow radiates. I take another look and see a large staircase leading down into a deep dark water. Wait a second, are we going underwater? Gingaline nods.
Yes, sir. These steps will lead us to an underwater tunnel, which will take us to the temple.
Underwater temples are a whole lot of nope. No way. Gingaline looks surprised.
What is it?
The rest of the party stares at me too. Guess I'm the only one creeped out by the dark, existential abyss of cave diving.
Afraid of getting wet?
I shake my head. I don't mind water, but I do mind the deep, dark, claustrophobic depths.
Perhaps my water magic could be of assistance.
Gingaline looks at her and grins.
We are fortunate to have a mage caster with us who can manipulate water.
He closes his eyes and puts a hand over his chest.
With a mere twist of the wrist, she bends the sea to her will. And to the wave which dare defies her, her ice will freeze it still.
Leanna's eyes light up.
That was beautiful.
She claps. Gingaline smiles, earnest and embarrassed.
Oh, do you think so? Perhaps I should write it down.
You should. Maybe it can go into your new poem.
Are you guys ready? Leanna nods.
Yep, lead the way.
Gingaline leads us down the stairs. Barnacles, seaweed, and mussels cling to the dark gray stones. The water ripples at our feet. As I look out, it only becomes deeper. Amy steps forward, her manipulators glowing.
Do the stairs continue to descend?
I'll admit I'm uncertain.
It is of no matter. We shall soon discover the answer. Please, continue.
She waves her arms into the air as Gingaline takes a step forward in the water. He moves out of the way of his boot. His grin broadens as the water flows around him, keeping him wrapped in a dry bubble.
But what do you know? There are more stairs.
Amelia remains in the back with her manipulators glowing. We travel ahead of her and continue down the stairs. As we descend further down, I glance up at the shimmering water which slips easily around us. Small schools of fish scurry past, bobbing as they swim around us. Soon the stairs level out. We follow a shallow corridor which opens up into the mouth of a large cavern. Several tunnels branch off into different directions around the cavern, but it's too dark inside to see where they may go. Blue crystals glitter all across the cavern. Some cling to the ceiling like icicles, while others are spread across the walls like frost.
Boy?
The Pongo pops his head out from the inside of Amelia's pouch. His eyes light up with wonder.
Boy! Water crystals.
What? She points to something behind me. Amelia crosses to a few crystals that are glowing along the ground. She fidgets with her bracelets, the symbols light up as she scans them.
Fascinating.
What is?
These water crystals are mineable ore. One can use them to create spheres.
If that's the case, then how come no one else has come here to mine them? Amelia doesn't even turn to face me, completely absorbed with the crystals.
This place has been lost to knowledge.
She touches one of the crystals. Her bracelets glow firelight bright. Ice creaks underneath her touch, and then I hear a sharp snap. A bit of the sapphire cracks off and her eyes brighten. She holds the piece up, examining it from side to side. I'm confused. We've seen crystals before. They're all over, powering up every single city we've been to. Is there something special about water crystals? Amelia shakes her head.
Crystals near temples are a rarity. I will use this one to study for further research.
The Pongo leaps out of her pouch and nibbles on a large crystal. He wobbles, obviously content. Leanna, Zack, and Kara wander around and check out the crystals. Their deep blue reflects off of the water and sparkle dancing lights across the cavern space. this is just a weird verb choice to me, I don't know. Reminds me of a disco ball. The effect is a bit mesmerizing. Crystalline turns down one of the tunnels.
The temple should be down here.
I look to where he's going. Something flickers in the depths of one of the tunnels, something silvery and bright. I follow Crystalline into the tunnel, where my shoulder bumps into a slick surface. Ow! My brows furrow. We're inside of a cave, so why was the wall so smooth? I reach up and touch cool glass. A mirror? I look around. No, a whole room full of mirrors. My breath catches in my throat. Hundreds of reflections blink back at me. Guys, are you seeing this? No response. Guys? I turn around. No one is there. I notice the walls in the previous path are also lined with mirrors. How did I walk through that without noticing before? Did the others do the same? They could have gone anywhere. This wasn't just a room, it was a maze. Everywhere I turn, I see myself. I run my hands over the mirrors to keep myself grounded, but with so many reflections I have a hard time keeping track of where I'm going. It just feels like I'm going in circles. I let out a small growl of frustration turning around. Something purple flashes from the corner of my eye, then something white.
Hey, is that you?
Kara? I turn to see her and Leanna sitting at the end of one of the paths. Kara grins and waves at me. I grin back, excitement flooding into my chest. Finally, I dash towards them and slam face first straight into a mirror. I lurch backwards, cupping my nose. I hear footsteps behind me.
Are you alright?
Blush crawls on my face. Yeah. My nose throbs with pain, but I didn't hit the wall hard enough to leave any real damage.
It was hard traveling through this maze for me too.
The three of us jump and whirl around. Amelia cocks her head and stares at me. Where did you come from?
I followed your voices and found you all here.
Oh. Did you see the others? Her gaze lingers on me again.
No.
Leanna twists her hands nervously.
I really don't like the look of this place. The mirrors are so creepy.
Start smashing them then. Maybe we should find a way out.
What about Zack and Crystalline?
We might run into them. Either way, it's better than just standing here admiring ourselves in the mirror.
Sounds like a plan.
We twist in and out of the maze. For a while, it feels like we're making progress. We go down along a path leading straight to... Kara sighs.
Dead end.
She places her hand on the mirror in front of us.
This is going to take forever.
Wait!
I look up. Something shimmers inside of the mirror, foggy at first, but then it slowly becomes clear. Letters brighten and form together to create a single word. Us. Kara blinks.
That's it? Just us?
She frowns, resting a hand on her hip.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
Something to do with us?
Do you think there are more words hidden out here?
Probably.
I glance at Amelia, who wears an intense stare. What do you think, Amy? She shrugs, but otherwise doesn't answer. I guess we move on then. We turn around and try again. The second one takes us longer to find. We keep twisting and turning in circles before Leanna ultimately reaches out and accidentally pats against a solid mirror at the end of a corridor. The letters breathe and flare up again. They form a new word.
Among
Leanna frowns, her brows crinkling together.
us and among? What does that mean?
They're really stressing something that has to do with us. I'm not sure I really like the sound of that.
There are probably some more words out there we need to find to make sense of this.
Amy hangs back again and watches silently. She feels my eyes on her and shifts her gaze onto me. I feel like her stare is a challenge, but I don't know why.
Can you make any sense out of this, Amy? You're usually really good with puzzles.
Amelia tears her gaze off of me and looks at Kara instead.
I don't know. They just seem like random words to me.
Kara blinks.
Right, but do you think it means anything?
No idea.
Well, this is still a dead end, so let's move on. We turn around again, bumping into even more mirrors. I keep getting turned around. Are we walking the same halls or going down new corridors? My hands reach out and skim across the silver mirrors as we walk. Amy remains silent and seemingly unconcerned. Her gaze continues to bore into me, making me even more nervous than I already feel. We come up to another dead end in which more letters slowly appear. Illusion. It's a message. The words are just jumbled up.
Us among illusion?
Among Illusion Us.
No, it's illusion among us. Leanna frowns, suddenly looking nervous.
So something among us isn't real?
Kara raises her eyebrows.
Yeah, but what?
There is nothing else with us, just each other. Not something, someone. Leanna flinches.
Maybe, but who would it be?
Can we choose the Pongo? I think it's Amy.
What makes you think that?
That is what makes me think that. Her brows crinkle in confusion.
Huh?
You aren't talking like one of my science textbooks. Amy doesn't use contradictions or shy away from a challenge. Surprise flickers behind her eyes.
I see.
Plus, you keep staring at me, and it's weird. Amy blinks, then a crocodile smile spreads across her face.
Good.
She shivers as she steps backwards into a mirror. When I look through, her image dissolves like water into the milky silver of the glass. When I look again, my own reflection stares back at me. Well, that was unsettling.
No kidding.
The mirrors flash blinding white. I cringe and cover my eyes as bright spots do acrobats in front of my nose. I hear the sound of something shimmering, and when I look up, I see the maze dissolve into starlight. The tunnel returns to a straight path. We travel down it for a short while before seeing familiar faces.
Oh, it's you guys.
I blink, my eyes still refocusing from the sunlight. When my vision clears, I see Zack, Amelia, and Gingeline heading our way from across the room. Kara rushes over to Zack. Leanna lets out a loud breath of relief.
Amy, you're okay.
Amelia blinks.
I assume the illusion among your group must have been me.
Yep. Leanna smiles.
Well, in any case, I'm so glad you guys are safe.
Gingeline returns Leanna's smile.
Yes, we are relieved you're all safe too. It's good to be reunited.
As Leanna talks, Zack makes sure to look anywhere except at her. Even Kara narrows her eyes.
Zack, you're acting weird. You're not another illusion, are you?
He prickles and shakes his head.
Nope. I am very much me in the most normal and loyal sense of the word.
Loyal? What did you do?
Nothing. I told you I was loyal.
Gingeline looks from Zack to Kara and lets out a hearty laugh.
I had not realized it before, Zack, but you seem to be quite the ladies' man. I will be sure to immortalize all that has happened in this most daring tale of...
No!
Zack's eyes are wide.
I mean, that's really not necessary.
What exactly happened on your side?
Leanna, Gingeline, Zack, and I had to solve a message.
So real quick, do you know she pronounces his name differently? Gingeline? Wait, but Leanna was on our side.
Correct. It was very obvious that the illusion was her.
How so?
No reason.
I look over at Zack, who's now avoiding eye contact with both Leanna and Kara.
To put it quite bluntly, Leanna attempted to seduce Zack.
Leanna's face turns crimson red.
What?
Kara turns to Zack.
And you fell for her, hey there, sailor, tactics?
Zack's face matches Leanna's in redness.
It wasn't like that at all. She was actually good.
Precisely. Her technique was especially effective. That is how we deduced she could not possibly be the real Leanna at all.
Leanna pouts.
Hey!
Kara whirls around to face Leanna.
Why would you do that? I thought we were friends.
Leanna's eyes widen. She shakes her head.
No. It wasn't me. It was illusion me. I would never hit on Zack.
Kara frowns.
And why not? Is he not good enough for you?
Huh? I mean, he must be okay if the illusion me hit on him.
I knew it!
I don't understand what's happening.
This is getting heated. I take a step back. There's no way I'm getting in the middle of this. Leanna lifts her arms into the air, exasperated.
I was literally with you guys the whole time.
Kara glares at her suspiciously.
Hey, don't worry. She'd never be able to do what she did back there in real life.
Kara and Leanna stiffen. They turn to face him, eyes hardening into a glare that could slice straight through all of the crystals in the cave.
Excuse me?
And what exactly did she do back there?
Zack balks. He takes a step back.
I didn't mean anything.
Ginglane's spine suddenly locks.
Do you all hear that?
Kara and Leanna freeze. Everyone stops to listen. There's the sound of rushing water. Is that a waterfall? He nods.
I think so. If we're nearing water, then perhaps we're close to the temple.
We follow the source of the noise. It becomes louder and louder the farther we travel. Soon we come across a temple ruin deep within the cavern. I walk up the steps and into the temple. The others follow. A sapphire pool sits at the center of the room. Waterfalls rush and flow into it as crystals glitter and sparkle all around. I stare at the pool as it begins to ripple and shift. A dark shadow ascends from the depths. A woman rises like a sea nymph, water sluicing down her body. I flinch in surprise. Hi. The woman opens her eyes. A soft smile curves her face. Dark midnight blue hair flows like wild waves down to her lower back. A thin film of water covers her, making her look otherworldly, embraced by the soft glow of the crystals. She must be the water elemental. Her laughter sounds like a stream gurgling over precious pearls. The sound echoes deep within my chest and fills me with a strange calm. As she steps towards me, I take a step back, but trip over a loose stone and fall backwards. Undeterred, she extends her hands and gently cups my face. She leans closer to me, and before I know it, a cool splash of pressure is on my lips. My eyes automatically close as I drink in her energy. She tastes like pure spring water, and I feel a stream of energy flow into me, crisp and fluid. All too soon, the feeling ceases, and when I open my eyes, she's gone. When I blink open my eyes, Leanna and Amelia watch me. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Amelia steps up and scans me with her manipulator. What's going on?
did you happen to have an encounter with the elemental?
Yeah.
Confirmed. There is an increase in his energy levels, although his heart rate does seem to be slightly elevated as well,
She peers at me.
and his pupils dilated. It appears he did have an amorous encounter with the elemental.
My cheeks flush. What? No, she just transferred energy, that's all. Leanna looks amused.
And how exactly did she do that?
Through touch.
Touching of the lips?
What makes you say that?
My scan reported your lips as having the highest concentration of energy.
My face burns even brighter. Luckily, Kara and Zack return, their packs heavy with items. Ginglane returns too, although he remains empty-handed.
What's this about kissing an elemental?
Nothing. I scramble to my feet. I think we spent enough time here already and should get going. Ginglane hides his laughter and nods.
Yes, let us be on our way.
Leanna and Amy lead the way out of the temple. Ginglane and I follow close behind. Kara and Zack take one last scan of the area. Afterwards, they follow us out and we start heading back the way we came. Without the illusion test, the exit is just a clear path down the tunnel. The maze has completely disappeared. I guess the Guardian was the one who put the maze in as a part of their trial. As we travel through the tunnel, I freeze when I hear the faint sound of voices. Catching Leanna's eye, she wordlessly motions for us to stay low. Zack responds with an imperceptible nod. We creep carefully towards the mouth of the tunnel and hide behind the towering stalagmites. Kara, Zack, and Ginglane are on one side, while Leanna, Amy, and I are on the other. The Pongo flattens himself as low as possible on the ground. Peeking around the corner, I see a group of about a dozen people or so bustling back and forth. The clinking of pickaxes echo through the cave as some men chip at the rocks. One of the men removes a luminescent crystal from the cave side and carries it over to a receptacle. They're collecting water crystals. Leanna and Amelia look equally concerned. Leanna already has her manipulator ready for a scan. When she sees the results, her jaw clenches. She shows Amy, who frowns. I drop my voice to a whisper. What is it?
Void.
I peer out again. In the middle of the cave are a group of cloaked figures. As one shifts, I spot double manipulators on his arms. A mage caster. Makes sense that they need someone who knows water magic to reach the temple, but that's still some serious power they're packing for a mining operation. If this is just a mining operation, why are there mages?
It would seem the mining efforts of the water crystals here are to supplement the transmutation efforts of Void. We have to stop them.
It doesn't look like they're set up yet. I scan the area. There are a few scouts on lookout at the main entrance of the cavern, a couple mages and a handful of miners. No one seems to have detected our presence yet. Zack motions towards us, catching our attention. He signals that we should flank them and attack. Leanna nods. Zack and Kara begin to creep closer to the tunnel opening. Leanna and Amy confer.
Keep your magic ready. The rest of the team will focus on the scouts and miners. But we'll want to take out those mages as soon as possible.
Amelia nods and her manipulators glow. As Leanna readies herself, we begin to move in. I ready my sword and feel the tingle of magic in my fingers. Once everyone's in position, Amelia lets loose a fireball, which lands square in the back of the mage caster. Zack and Kara race out and engage with the nearest miners. King Elaine rushes towards the entrance to take care of the guards, while Leanna and I charge the mages. So, if you didn't see what I'm pointing out, that's a different type of miner. That would be the Amelia variety, I guess. So we still don't have the minigame, and like usual, we suck. One by one, the team methodically takes care of the Void members. I square off against my final opponent. My breathing is hard and fatigue creeps into my limbs. Even with augmented speed, my movements are beginning to slow. I raise my sword to attack just as he launches a blast at me, before I can dodge. A blast of wind smashes into the magic, bursting it into a shower of energy. Leanna appears a moment later and swings. He's too slow, and with a loud groan he falls to his knees. Taking another blow from Leanna, he's down for the count. Thanks. She nods. Slowly everyone trickles back together, checking that no Void members are still conscious.
Everyone okay?
We all nod.
How did Void know where the temple is?
I wondered the same thing. We got pretty lucky in finding this place.
They must be growing exponentially in power and amassing more resources than anticipated.
What do we do with those mine crystals?
We should take them. They can still be fashioned into crystal spheres, since they haven't been tainted.
I'll help.
Kara and Leanna begin to organize the fallen crystals when we hear shouting down one of the tunnels. What's that?
It sounds like Void reinforcements.
Those scouts must have alerted the rest of the troops before we took them out.
The shouting ceases, but we hear the thunder of footsteps, and before long a group of about 20 men surrounds us. Zack shoots at the nearest men, but more replace the ones who fall. Leanna and Amelia shoot blasts of energy at anyone who tries to surround us, but the men keep closing in. Kara throws a handful of daggers at anyone who approaches, and I channel my energy and blast anyone who comes too close. Although our efforts are formidable, the enclosing reinforcements seem endless. As one man falls, another body soon replaces him. They close in on us until we're standing back to back. Our breathing is labored as we struggle to hold off the men. Gingling closes his eyes, and when he opens them they flash purple. His entire body is encased in a violet glow, beginning from a spot on his necklace beneath his throat.
Stand back!
His voice is harsh and throaty, unlike his usual smooth velvety tones. He waves his arm and elongated shadows extend from his fingertips, pushing back the invading force. Void men groan as they are knocked backwards. Before they can get back up, Gingling points and shadow magic channels out of his hands, colliding square to the enemy's chests. They collapse to the ground as more men swarm in. Gingling mutters a few words and throws out his hands again, this time as the energy channels out of him, morphs into a phantom claw which swipes the nearest group of Void members. I watch stunned as Gingling moves in a blur, dodging attacks from all of the Void team. Zack occasionally shoots anyone who gets too close to him, but soon the attention shifts away from us, entirely as everyone targets Gingaline. He barely seems to notice the number of men against him as one by one they fall until a pile of unconscious bodies lay at his feet. Once the last man falls, Gingaline lowers his arms and ceases his magic. His eyes return to normal as he looks at our slack-jawed stares.
Are any of you hurt?
Slowly we shake our heads.
That was shadow magic you were using.
Gingaline looks apologetic.
Yes, it was.
He looks down and hides the locket that fell out of his shirt during battle, but not before Leanna notices it.
You were using tainted shadow magic against Void, and that fighting style.
Yes.
Suddenly, both Leanna and Amelia gasp.
It can't be. You're really him?
Gingaline smiles sheepishly. Who is he? What's going on?
It would seem Gingaline is not Gingaline the Bard, but he is also Robin Ostergaard.
Who's Robin Ostergaard?
He was one of the heroes of Asaria, the only one who used shadow magic in combat. After the defeat of Void, he disappeared, and no one knew what happened to him.
Robin became but a simple bard.
Why did you disguise yourself as a bard?
He gives a soft smile.
I thought it would be best. With all of the disturbances Void caused, there was a massive stigma against shadow magic. I didn't want people to misconstrue the events of what happened or who I really am.
Okay, so I don't know how it's going to sound to you guys, but his voice has gone down a lot in terms of volume. That's not something on my end as far as I know, so I'm going to try not to make too much noise so you can actually hear him.
I may have been a part of Void in the past, but it was before they turned into the Void that created and used tainted spheres. When their ideals began to shift, I got out. I was lucky, but not everyone was.
His voice chokes up, and he pauses as he composes himself. I think back to the story he told around the campfire. That must have been his story. Robin's story.
So you gave up the prestige associated with the heroes.
He nods.
Times were hard. People were confused and on edge. It was simpler for Robin to become what they wanted him to be. I became the Bard to keep the memory of the heroes alive, so they could continue to provide hope for the people.
No wonder he holds such high respect from the people of Asaria. He truly does care more about the well-being of his country rather than his own needs. I don't know if I'd been able to so easily give up the temptation of fame and glory. Robin shakes his head and an urgency returns to his voice.
But we need to focus. Void is continuing to taint crystals, and it seems like they're only growing stronger.
We've been noticing more of a presence of Void, too.
Robin nods.
Since the tainted crystals are the source of their rise in power, you'll have to find a way to stop production of those spheres.
It would make the most sense that production would happen at the base of their operations.
Where is that?
The Shadow Temple.
That must have been where their operations began, back when he was still a part of Void.
They can use the latent energy there to maximize output of tainting crystals. If you're able to reach the temple and absorb the energy within, you'll put a major dent in their operation.
I immediately look at Leanna when he mentions absorbing energy. Leanna looks just as alarmed as I do. She's about to retort when Robin stops her.
I saw what happened at the temple just now, and I felt the change in energy levels.
He turns to me.
I don't know how you're able to do that, but I've seen my share of crazy things in life, and I know that what you have is a gift. Don't be afraid of it because it strays from the norm. Use it for good.
I feel the earnestness in his voice and it empowers me.
If what he says is true, then it would behoove us to journey to the Shadow Temple.
Do you know where it is, Amy?
I would need to consult Elderism's notes.
The Shadow Temple is in the west, right on the border of Avengard.
That's the opposite side of where we are now.
I will mark it down on the map for you.
Robin and Amelia talk further as he points out the exact location of the Shadow Temple. I surveyed the fallen Void members around us. What exactly should we do about these guys and the crystals?
I'll take care of them. You all should get going.
You aren't coming with us?
He shakes his head.
I know you are all more than capable of handling whatever you may encounter. I have other business to attend to now.
Leanna pauses and then nods reluctantly.
It's been an honor traveling with you.
Robin grips her hands.
I am the one who is honored to be able to know such a formidable mage knight.
It has been a most enlightening experience to have made your acquaintance. I only wish we had more time to further speak about your background. I have many questions.
I'm sure our paths will cross again someday.
Zack nods.
Take care.
Robin nods back.
I'll look forward to reading about the dashing beauty who helped save the team from danger.
Aw, she's talking about me. He laughs.
I wouldn't dream of leaving her out of the story.
Kara blushes. Robin puts on a bittersweet grin.
Until we meet again.
After we say our goodbyes, Amelia conjures up the same bubble for us to travel back through the water. We hurry up the stairs until we return to the valley within the mountains.
It seems Void's presence is even greater than we thought.
Agreed. This is more than just a few scattered fanatics. They're reorganized.
Perhaps we should alert the authorities.
You think they're just gonna take our word for it and believe that Void is back? They'll launch an investigation which would take months, maybe years. And by the time they realize it's true, Void will be even stronger.
Zack's right.
While the team debates on the next steps, I remain quiet. Void is also on the rise, and the team needs my help to defeat them. But I have energy from 4 temples now, and I have a feeling that this should be enough energy to open a rift and return back home. If I can even return home. Amelia's worrying about my casting resilience is on the forefront of my mind. It nibbles on my thoughts and feeds on my fear. If I try to open a rift, there's a very real possibility that I won't survive the channeling of so much energy. The faces of my family remind me who I've left behind. How long have I been gone? Are they worried about me? My gaze wanders to my friends. Terror feels just as real as my home on Earth. What would happen if I left them here to defeat Void without me? Would they be okay without me, or would I just be setting them up for failure? Okay, so here we have to make a choice. Later, chumps. So that's a bit of a letdown. Hello. Thank you for playing Crystalline Early Access Episode 4. We hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot more exciting things to come. Please look forward to future episodes. Player feedback helps us tremendously. Knowing what you enjoy, what we can improve, consider writing a review on Steam. Follow development and hang out with the Pixel Fade team. Please feel free to join us on Discord. Maybe later. So this would be the shadow one we're going to see next. So are they going to close the game on me, or... Good. What? Load. Here. There we go. Stay and fight. To be continued still, right? Well, at least I have the save point in the exact spot we need. But otherwise, that's pretty much it, folks. That was episode 4, so it's going to be a few months till episode 5 comes out, and I don't know if that's going to be the complete end or how it's going to break down exactly, but now that we're up to speed, I need to go back to DSE Ray, and we'll see what happens from there. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching.